So while I was in Atlanta for Blade Show, Dad thought it would be a good idea to get massages the day before we flew out. And so we looked up, the closest massage place, and it was also really highly rated on like Yelp and stuff. But the Yelp reviews also said, don't expect them to speak a lot of English. And so we tried to track them down. We ended up at their old location in a nearby mall, and they were closed. They moved somewhere. And so I was kind of pissed at that point, because you bathe in Atlanta and then get out of the shower and you're immediately sticky. And I've walked like a quarter mile to try and find this place, and I'm sweating up a storm after I just showered so that I'd be clean when I got a massage from some stranger. But we get back in the car, and we find out it's like a couple blocks down the road in a strip mall. And we go there, and there's this nice Chinese man behind the desk, and he knows enough English to know which massage we want and tell us how much it costs. We get the 90-minute, which was awesome. And my dad goes to the bathroom first, and he leads the guy leads me to a room that's it's a divider with a curtain and a table in it and a little set of drawers in the corner. And he just gestures, and I go in there, and I'm just kind of standing there for a minute, because I don't know what I do. And my dad walks by after he gets out of the bathroom, and he's like, "Oh, you just stripped down to your underwear." I'm like, "Okay," and he goes into the room directly next to me. So I strip down to I close the curtain, I strip down to my underwear, and in like another minute, I see this little Chinese lady outside the door, and she's like, "Are you ready, sir?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready." And she opens the curtain, and I'm standing there in my Under Armour underwear, and she sees me, and she's like, "Oh, no, and she pulls back the towel on the table and like gestures for me to sit down while she's not looking at me, right? And so I get on the table, and I lay face down with my head through the little donut, and she covers me with the towel. Apparently I was supposed to do that part.
Oh.
So we get rolling on the massage, and she's rubbing my back through the towel. She's kind of getting me prepped. She's finding a couple sore spots on my back. And about 20 minutes in, I start holding in a pretty wicked fart. So that's hard when someone's rubbing you. And not long after I start holding in the fart, I feel her pull the towel down my back, hook it into the top of my underwear, and she pulls out my whole ass. My whole ass. Like, she had to have been able to see the back of my sack through my legs. So, my whole ass is out. She was freaked out about seeing me into my underwear, but pulls out my whole ass, oils me up, cheeks to neck, and just starts rubbing me down for 90 fucking minutes. And she's, running her elbows into my shoulders, and she gets down to my butt, and she's just digging the balls of her hands into my ass. Whole cheeks, sides of my legs, the whole fucking thing. And I'm holding in this fart, and I'm sure she can see my fucking brown eye back there, and I'm just trying to make sure it's not winking at her while I try to hold this fart in. And, she finally, maybe 50 minutes into it, she's done with my whole ass. No, it would have had to have been over an hour into it. And she pulls my pants back up, goes, and leaves the room. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And she comes back about 5 minutes later with hot rocks and hot towels. And rubs my back with the hot rocks, and they're like scalding hot. It felt so good. And then sets them on the small of my back. And after a while, she leaves them there for a while and keeps working on my left shoulder, which is really fucked up. And she left actual bruises on that shoulder. It was awesome. But she packed up all the hot stuff, and then had me flip onto my front, right? Or onto my back, so I was face up. She grabs my head, digs her thumbs into my temples, and just I'm pretty sure she was doing her best to crush my skull. Just behind my ears, around my whole hairline, the top of my head, down my jaw, down my neck. She did my arms, and she did my feet, and she did my legs. And she just dropped them back on the table when she was done, and the timer went off. She said, "Okay, sir," and she stepped out of the room, and that was it.
What about the fart?
Oh, I held that in until we got outside. It was glorious. But, you know, why were you embarrassed to see me in my underwear? When you pulled out my whole ass.
Part of your ball sack, too.
The whole ass.
Hole.
That's a really good story.
It's a good story.
It's a really good cake.
It's a good cake.
Hot stones are awesome.
Huh?
Yeah. Hot stones are amazing.
I have yet to try it.
Ooh. Maybe I should put in a request this weekend for Stone Place. My nice basin. And in Stone.
Yeah. That's Mom's favorite.
Wyatt, you got any good stories?
About what?
I don't know. This is cake
Your
story.
whole ass being out.
I must have some sort of story. I won't be able to top that because that's pretty legendary.
It is good.
It's pretty damn good.
Man, you really need a trigger for a story to go off. So there we were with the mobile meow house.
I'm not gonna give a shit about editing this. I'm just gonna cut it from start and upload.
Is that Kyle's Walther?
Probably.
Yes.
Does it still work?
It's missing a hop-up unit. I know. It's sad time.
But I want to chase Bentley with it. Bop, 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 bop. Because he probably couldn't hear it at this point. He's deaf
What are
as a
you
fucking
doing?
post.
We don't condone chasing animals with airsoft guns. We just don't.
One time I got inspired to do some short films as a kid and chased Amy around the backyard with a pair of hedge clippers. I think that one was called the Sheepdog Shearer.
The sheepdog shearer.
Unfortunately, that camera was broken and literally nothing I filmed came out.
Oh.
Yeah.